Hey mama, I want to talk to you about problems and handling problems. It came to me the other day, sometimes you have those moments in life where then something like pops in your head and you're like, oh yeah, it's kind of like that. Well, it's like this. I was filling up my glass, yes, for a margarita. Was it noon on a Saturday? Was it not noon on a Saturday? That part I can't recall. But I do recall that I was filling up my glass, putting some ice in a glass for the margarita. And the way that our fridge is set up, the ice machine is in the bottom. I don't have where you put the cup against it and it comes out. I have to get the ice out of the bottom. So I'm getting the ice out of the bottom. And as I'm pulling the ice out, a piece falls onto the ground. So I put most of the ice in my cup and then one piece of ice fell on the ground. And I did not bend over to pick it up. I was like, okay, this ice is here and I'm just gonna kick it under the fridge. And that's what I did. I kicked it under the fridge and I went on about my day. I knew that ice would melt. I knew eventually the water would evaporate. Sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes all you have is the energy to make a margarita and not to clean anything. And that's where I was at. So I just kind of kicked it under the fridge and it went away. That's one way to handle a problem, right? Sometimes there are problems and you kick them under the fridge, they melt and they go away. Sometimes though, there are other problems that don't quite go away. I also was looking around my house and going, oof, the floor needs to be swept. And literally I pushed some of that under the rug. Why? Because people were coming over and I just wanted it to be a little bit cleaner, but I also was not going to put in all the effort to make it a fully beautiful house because I have small kids. But I literally kicked it under the rug. And the next day it was still under the rug. Still there, still need to be picked up. So this is what I thought about problems, is that there's kind of two problems. There's problems outside of the ones that are urgent and you have to handle right away. There are problems that you kick it under the fridge, it melts, it goes away, it's fine. But then there are problems that you sweep them under the rug and you just spend the whole time walking around on that bumpy rug and they are just there festering. And eventually you have to handle them, and the longer they stay there, the longer two things happen. They start to build and get worse. And then also the longer you're thinking about it, because don't you know that whole day I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to have to sweep that stuff from under the rug. I woke up the next morning I got to get that stuff from under the rug. I'm walking around on a bumpy, dirty rug and I need to clean it up, right? So it was taking up a lot of my mental energy and also was just still there, right? And the more that people walked across it, the more it got kind of smushed into the floor. So longer cleanup time at the end of the day. And I'm sharing this with you because when you think about the problems that come at you, yes, some of them have to be handled urgently. Some of them don't. But maybe think about whether or not that problem that's coming to you is one that is something you can kick under the fridge and eventually it'll solve itself. And in that case, by all means, kick it under the fridge, right? Just don't do it time after time all in a row. You're going to end up with a huge puddle and a problem. Or is it something that you're going to kick under the rug and then it's going to bother you? And if that's the case, the sooner you can handle it, the better. And I'm going to take a little bit of a left turn here, but I want to talk about how this also equates to our mental health, right? Because as mamas who are also working, we have a lot going on. We are taking care of the kids. We're holding down the house. We're killing it at our jobs. We are trying to find time for ourselves. We're showing up and putting on the lipstick, right? We're doing all the things. And one of the problems, I'm using air quotes on this, one of the problems that can happen is we start kicking our mental health down the road. It's I will take that time for me later. I will do this thing for me later. I will address these thoughts that I'm having later. And we just keep kicking them down the road. But when we're kicking those down the road, it's like shoving them under a carpet and we're just walking on top of the carpet or walking on top of the bumpy rug. And now it's hurting our backs because we're walking on this bumpy stuff all the time. And it is filling up all of our mental energy and really dragging and bringing us down. So that's a really long way of saying, it's okay to not be okay. You have so much going on in your life. It is okay to not be okay. And when you're not okay, don't kick it under the rug. Address it. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And whether that is doing a meditation, taking a walk, calling a friend, if you can do it, taking a staycation by yourself for a night in a hotel, or reaching out to a mental health provider. Whatever it is that you need to do to feel better and make sure you keep your mental health in check and keep it healthy mental health, then please do it. Don't kick it under the rug, right? You need to be your best because only when you're at your best can you really support and serve all those people who depend on you at home, at work, in your community. When you're not at your best, you really can't do the best for them either. So take the time to take care of yourself. And that's it. That's the message. Don't kick your mental health under the rug. I hope that this reaches you. If there's a mama who needs to hear this, please send it to them. And if you like this kind of chat, this advice, please check out my podcast, The Savvy Working Mom, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Hey mama, if you like what you just heard, I'm now offering VIP days where we can work together to help you thrive in and out of the office. Come check it out on my website, The Savvy Working Mom.